Yo, what is going on, everybody? It's Jordan Leandry, and welcome back to the Two-Man Advantage podcast, joined, as always, by Dylan Kapiski. Dylan, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing excellent. How are you?
I am doing just absolutely amazing today,
That's
especially
great to hear.
after a good old series win for the Sox, which is what the topic of this podcast today is going to be. If you're still listening after the first two, congratulations, you are a real one. You are an OG. And we love you.
Yes, we do. We love you very much, and we appreciate you, and that's why we're back here today with another doubleheader. This time, going to cover the series that just wrapped up against the Minnesota Twins, which, as Jordan alluded to, the Red Sox took 3-1, and then a little bit later, we're going to preview the quick little series in Boston against the Philadelphia Phillies. But one of us doesn't have a whole lot of time, so let's get right into the review of the Twins series with Game 1, of course. This was just bad. We talked a lot about the bullpen in our first podcast, and then a bit in the second one as
our
well.
Our overly hyped second episode.
Yeah. This time it wasn't Joe Kelly who cost us the game. It was actually Matt Barnes picking up the loss after we had taken a lead late into the game. And as soon as you make that call to the bullpen, everything just goes to crap, and we end up losing 2-1. What? Why?
Well, I think that's one of the rare games where I feel like a rookie manager kind of... I'm not going to say he lost it, because obviously you want your guys are supposed to come through. They've done it for the most part all year, especially the guys that were used in the game. But he tried to extend everybody. Hembry went in that first, got that one out that he's always in there for, but then they put him out for the seventh, and he didn't do so hot. Matt Barnes had to come in and get the last out of the seventh, and then he had to go back out for the eighth, and he struggled in the eighth. So that's just kind of what it is with a lot of these guys on the roster. They're not, or at least in the bullpen, they're not a team that can just get hot, go pitch, and then sit down, and then get hot again, and then go and be effective. And it happens. It didn't wind up costing them. Other than that first game didn't cost them the series. They still took 3 or 4, so it's not really... I don't even want to put it on the bullpen too much, because you only scored one run against Kyle Gibson. Yeah. Gibson pitched his butt off. Every pitch was working for him, other than like a couple of rough innings to start. He was locked in all night. He made JD look stupid on a couple of sliders. I feel like it rests more on the offense. It just looks bad on the bullpen's part because they took the lead so late into the game.
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring that point up too about, not getting offense. Once again, the hottest offense in the league, but for some reason, when a pitcher needs support, can't get it. We saw the Mariners game. What was it? Must have been 2 months ago by now, with Steven Wright. He gave up 4 in the first inning, and then we came back and we were leading 5-4 by the end of it. Ended up winning the game 14-10. But then you look at this game, and you got Brian Johnson going 5 2/3, no runs. He didn't have a great game, 4 hits, 3 walks, but still enough. No earned runs, no runs period. But the offense just can't do anything at home too, which is a little frustrating. But like you said, a good pitching day for the Twins. Nothing after the second for the Red Sox after Mookie just pretty much lucked into an RBI, grounded into a double play with, fortunately for him, the bases were loaded up enough that he was able to bring one in, but nothing else. And then, Hembry, like you said, he came in with that inherited runner, didn't give it up, but then the next inning, and then Barnes
did the same.
Gave up the run that would eventually win. So frustrating game then.
Yeah, but it wasn't anything short of excitement. They had bases loaded, 2 outs with Jackie Bradley up, and people get on his case for chasing ball 4 to end the game, which I honestly disagree. The catcher was lined up outside, so it's probably a 50-50 call, but way too close to take with 2 strikes. It was a good pitch. It was like a 96-mile-an-hour fastball right on the inside corner. There's a select few guys in baseball that can hit that. JD probably one of them. JD's definitely one of them. Mookie's another one. Nobody else on your roster can do that but those 2 guys, in my opinion. It's tough. I mean, 96 running
Yeah.
inside, with just right on the inside corner. It's a ballsy pitch, especially since he's been erratic all night. It's just a good pitch, and tip your cap to him. But they got him back the next night anyway, so.
Wow. Yeah, I got a lot to say, but also I have nothing to say about what happened the night after.
Yeah.
Chris Sale on the mound goes 6 strong innings.
Shutout.
Actually, was it 6 or 6? No, it was 6.
It was 6, yeah.
6 strong innings, no runs. I mean, it's a typical Sale start. Looking at the numbers, 10 strikeouts, 3
The walks
hits.
were a little bit of a
early
early though.
That's different for him.
The fourth inning, he walked 2 and hit a batter. But then, obviously, he didn't allow a run in the game, so he obviously didn't.
Yeah, he's Chris Sale, so he just got out of it.
Yeah, he Chris Sale.
Like it was nothing.
He Chris Sale.
But how many times does this happen? And how frustrating is it every time we have to talk about it? Because we've been talking about this a lot privately before we started this podcast. Chris Sale, no earned runs. Chris Sale's name doesn't go in the winners column.
Right. It happens a lot. And I mean, I sent you this screenshot of a stat I saw on Twitter earlier. I'll pull it up real quick. But I mean, it's just they highlight the cleanup spot, but the only spot in the order that's hitting above 206 against him is the 5 spot, which is hitting 305. But we'll go 1 through 9. I'll just read the batting average against 203, 206, 197, 121, 305. 151, 154, 111, and 125. The highest OPS against him is the 5 spot, obviously, at 786. But, like, you look at the heart of the order, all these OPSs are well below league average except for the 5 spot. And that's the only spot that's given him trouble. Looking at the slash line against him this year, 179 batting average, 244 OBP, 286 slugging, so a 530 OPS against him. This year, he's got 11 wins. He realistically could have 17 already.
Oh yeah, easy.
And he'd
be less than 4 losses. He could very easily be 16, 17, and 2.
Oh yeah. 100%. And the fact that he is just, I mean, they wound up winning the game, so you can't really get mad. I know he doesn't care about the person. I know he doesn't care about personal numbers where he's like, oh, I really want to make sure I have my W's and all that stuff. He wants the team to win. He pitched well enough to get them to win. It took a little bit of drama at the end of the game, a little bit of flair, but I mean, those are the kind of games that happen, and they were due for that kind of game because you and I have been talking before we even started this show about how it's been like 4 or 5 games where they just erupted for 9 runs for him. I mean, They were due for a game where they didn't score for him. It just happened to be against the Twins, which makes it look a little bit worse. And Lance Lynn, whose ERA was pushing 6 entering the game, but I mean they pulled through. Obviously, Devers, that huge home run after the bullpen coughed it up again.
Yeah. This time it was Kimbrel who coughed it up.
Yeah, Kimbrel, because he's allergic to the 8th inning, and I don't even understand what it is with him.
Why was he even out there?
Right. I mean, Barnes had only thrown 6 pitches, but I mean, I understand Cora's thought process. Kimbrel's less likely to give up a home run. He faced, Logan Morrison has a little bit of pop. I know he's hitting under 200 this year, but he has some pop. I can understand going to a guy that's less likely to give up a home run. And it wasn't even in the 8th that he coughed it up. It was the 9th.
No, it was in the 9th.
Yeah,
but it's because he pitched in the 8th that I think he coughed it up in the 9th.
Like I said before, it's like this team is full of guys that can't get hot twice.
Yeah,
it's weird.
He came in to replace Barnes for literally no reason because Barnes had just struck out a guy, 2 outs, nobody on, like you said, only a few pitches. There's no reason to put Kimbrel in at that point. Why not just save him for the 9th?
Yeah, I don't know. But the one thing that I think would be a plus out of the bullpen, just watching that game, is the performance from Tyler Thornburg. We saw that in the 10th inning. He went out there 1-2-3 inning. He had a strikeout. I mean, he's been really good.
Yeah, he's been on fire lately.
His last 4 outings, he's not allowed to run yet. His curveball has been gross, like in a good way. Like I didn't get to watch I wasn't watching the game at the time when he pitched in the Sale game. I watched the game the other day where he went in relief.
Yeah.
In the 8th and got the hold there, but his curveball's got some bite to it. I mean, he can hang it, but it's got such sharp late movement that's tough to hit. And it's like 77 to 81 miles an hour. I mean, that stuff's nasty. And it looks like they definitely figured something out with his mechanics because before that, his ERA was pushing 8, and now
Yeah,
it's
now it's down
it's
in the
down
fives.
it's down low fives. I mean, that's the thing with relievers. Like they're gonna look and say he's got a 5 ERA, but I mean,
Well, he just came back after he's only pitched like what,
eight
seven, eight
times, eight
times.
times. But I mean, that's the thing with relievers is you look at the high ERA, but you don't realize that one bad outing takes you 2 or 3 weeks to recover from with your ERA. And he's been fine. I mean, and it's really only been one bad outing. I mean, I looked at his numbers. If you take out the Detroit appearance, which was the game they lost 5-0 in that series, he gave up 3 runs in an inning. If that game you just remove it, I know you can't. His ERA is under 3 for the year. It's that one bad outing, and it happens. It's just tough to recover from. So people are going to say he's been terrible, but he's really only had one bad outing and a couple spotty ones. But other than that, he's been sharp and he's looked good.
Yeah, and you talked about him coming in the eighth, and how great would it be to get a shutdown arm in the eighth inning?
That costs you nothing.
Yeah.
This year. I mean, obviously it costed them stuff last year, but this year, you don't have to trade anything else. You have your eighth inning guy. If Thornburg has actually figured it out,
Yeah.
I mean, we'll
Which
see.
it looks like he has, because he's been, like you said, after a rough start, it's been pretty damn good as of late. And if he can come out and be that eighth inning guy that we so desperately need, with guys like Hembry and Barnes, Barnes not so much, but Hembry and Joe Kelly especially, constantly blowing games in the late innings. I'd love to have Thornburg pitch in the way that we hoped he would pitch when we brought him in. And this game, because of the situation in the bullpen, and this time Kimbrel being the one costing us the game in the ninth, thank God for Rafael Devers hitting a clutch home run in the bottom half of the ninth. He just came out swinging.
That was an absolute bullet.
He was just swinging at everything, and he was swinging for the fences, and he got it. But the point I was about to make was, for Thornburg, because he missed last year, that's his first win since October of 2016. What do you think that does for his psyche going forward?
I mean, I know relievers probably don't look at their win-loss record very much, but I think it definitely is, in this case, because he missed so much time, he probably is like, all right, I'm back now. I mean, I think it kind of helps him a little bit. But it's not like a starter going that long after missing a year. Like the guy that pitched yesterday, we'll talk a little bit about him in a little bit, but he missed all of last year with Tommy John. He's a starter, so his first win coming back was probably a huge sigh of relief for him. With Thornburg, I doubt it has the same effect, but it definitely gives him probably a little bit more confidence that he's back, he's not hurt, he's got the stuff to compete, and he's done it in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I think that getting the win is going to give him the confidence to know, okay, not only can I pitch in these clutch situations, but they trust me to pitch in these clutch situations. Yeah. And now he can back it up by saying, yeah, I went out in the 10th inning with our shaky bullpen, and I was able to shut them down, and we were able to bring the red-hot offense up when we needed it, and then Mookie Betts came through in the 10th to give Thornburg that win.
2 pitches in.
Yeah, 2 pitches
I'm telling you, like, I listen because I'm a big nerd about broadcaster calls and stuff. I listen to both of them. Listening to the Tim Neverett on WEEI give that call was hilarious because I hear swung on and we're going home. Like he didn't even say anything. It was just swung on and we're going home. And I was like, reacted as if I was at the game because I didn't stand up because I was in my car, but I jumped. I was like, let's go, because I don't know, it got me hyped up.
Yeah, it was his celebrations are just the best.
Mookie's getting so cocky, and I love it.
But then, he had an interview with Tom Caron right after, and God, listening to the guy talk, he was just so. And I get that, right after a home run, you want to go celebrate with the boys. You don't want to sit there and talk to TC. No offense to TC, but
TC, great guy.
But you don't want to sit there and dissect what's going through your mind 5 minutes after it happened. You want to wait a little bit. You want to let it sink in first. But man, he's sitting there and he's like, I love this team that I play for. These fans of this city are great. I was just like, oh man, he's so close to being the full package of what a superstar is. But
the thing is,
hell, if he can perform on the field, I don't care what he's like in interviews.
His interviews aren't even that bad. I think it was just like we get certain types of interviews from him where he doesn't sound great, but like when they mic'd him up in spring training, he was so entertaining. Like the ball that Chris Bryant I think hit over his head, he was just running. He goes, "Yeah, I'm not catching that one, boys."
Well, yeah, because that's him
in the moment,
being relaxed and him being in the moment and being able to show that charisma. But I think when you put him in a situation where it's like question and answer, I think that answer is going to be quite, tedious to listen to.
He's not a basketball or a football player. We're not expecting must-see TV just because he's getting interviewed. Like
no, you expect must-see TV when he's got a bat in his hands.
And he comes through.
Speaking of coming through, how's that for a segue?
Oh, let's go. A1.
Game on Saturday, the offense definitely came through 10-4.
Yep.
Rick Porcello on the mound actually didn't have a very strong outing.
No, he was bad. And it's funny. Before you go on, I'm just gonna say I texted somebody and was like, Porcello looks sharp so far, and then the next pitch, Morrison hits a bomb. I was like, yes. Yeah, about that. Right,
yeah, so the game started with the Red Sox taking a quick lead. Mitch Moreland got another RBI. He's been quietly getting hot lately.
Yeah.
Of course, now what is he, day-to-day? Like, what is the deal with him? Why is he been...
His knee's
I haven't heard anything official.
Apparently he banged his knee up. That's why he's been in and out of the lineup. But he's not like... It's not like DL worthy. I mean, but... At this point, considering Steve Pearce has been effective, I'm not concerned until they actually have to put him on the disabled list.
Yeah. So, yeah, he brought in the first run of the game, but like you said, Logan Morrison popped a home run into right field to tie it, and then just a bad third inning for Porcello. Got roughed up. Had a triple given up to Jorge Polanco. And then Brian Dozier would bring Polanco in. Made it 4-1 Twins at the time. But then the Red Sox, what they've done so many times, fought back. Jackie Bradley brought in two guys on a triple of his own. And then Mookie followed that up with a double. And then JD does what JD does best, and he rockets his 32nd home run.
For the second time this year.
Yes.
He's so good he did it twice. He's so good.
So what's that? Well, Mookie already got his back. JD got his.
Now
Are we just waiting on Benny now?
Now we're just waiting on Benny.
So yeah, he got his 32nd of the year again. And he wasn't done in this series. He was for the game, but we'll talk about that more in a minute. Then Benintendi in the 6th to make it 6-4. And then just a crazy 8th inning when the game was still pretty close going in. But then Mookie Betts doubles and brings in Bradley, who was on base. Then Minnesota just decides to forget how to pitch. They end up walking in a run.
And that was weird because they intentionally walked. Benintendi struck out. They intentionally walked JD, which made sense. They struck Moreland out. But it's first and second, 2 outs. And they intentionally walked Bogarts to load the bases. Now, I understand how dumb Taylor Rogers made both Benintendi and Moreland look on curveballs. But, like, come on.
Yeah, that was...
But, like, it's just like, I know Bogarts has been clutch this season. He's been good this year. But with 2 outs... If you're
going to load the bases, make sure your pitcher's going to throw strikes.
But, yeah.
You can't count on him just having nasty stuff that people are going to swing and miss at. He has to hit the zone, otherwise it's going to get...
Think of it this way. If you walk in a run against Rafael Devers, you should probably consider not playing baseball anymore. That dude has the worst plate discipline I've ever seen in my existence. And I'm also counting myself in this plate discipline debate here. It's not effective.
You know what? He's gotten a free pass for at least a week from me because of what he did on Friday. So
that's fair. I'm just saying, if you walk in a run against Rafael Devers, that's a big issue.
Yeah. So then Nunez came up with a double, and that would be the 10th and final run for Boston in the game.
But that also was the end of the night for Devers, who wound up straining his hamstring.
Yeah, that was
weird.
Strange.
It was weird. Yeah, and he's on the 10-day DL now.
Yeah.
The
night after a clutch hit, he goes and gets hurt.
Yeah, a clutch hit and then a clutch at bat in the next game where he walks. I mean, he's laid off some tough pitches. He wound up walking. The run scored, and then he goes on the disabled list after that game with a strained hamstring, and it leads us to having Blake Swihart playing third base in the ball game yesterday.
So Rick Porcello, just real quick to finish up this game, picks up his 13th win despite not having a very good start. And the Red Sox went back up 40 games over 500. And then yesterday, it was basically Nathan Eovaldi and JD Martinez versus the Minnesota Twins.
Yeah.
Wow, did Eovaldi look good.
He looked really good. Oh my god. And I was expecting him to go out there because I knew it was the Twins. I was like, he's going to probably go 6 innings, have a couple runs, he's going to have a good outing. It's not going to be anything special. And he goes out there and twirls a gem. He probably could have gone another inning. Cora took him out of 82 pitches, 63 strikes. So that's absurd.
That's
command.
A very good ratio.
And then he got a little bit of help early. That Jackie Bradley Jr. catch might have been the best catch I've ever seen him make in my entire life.
That was amazing. Yeah. So what was that? It was just a fly ball to left center, right in the gap, and Bradley just runs like 1,500 feet, and
it was
reaches up and dives, barely gets it in the glove. It's like an over-the-shoulder diving catch, and then just smashes right into the monster. Like, whatever, that's nothing.
Mind you, that's a backhanded catch too. Like if he was left-handed, I mean, obviously it's still impressive. But like if Benintendi's in center field and makes that play, it's not as sexy as if Jackie does it, because that's a backhanded catch. He landed awkwardly, slammed into the wall.
Yep.
I like.
And then let off the next inning.
I look back at some of the guys that the Sox have had in center field, other than Jackie Bradley over the course of the last 5-10 years. Like if Jacoby Ellsbury did that, he would have missed probably the rest of the season. Like that dude would have been hurt severely, and Jackie's like, it's okay, I'll just stretch it a little bit. I'll lead off the next inning. No big deal. It's just, he is worth the price of admission watching him just play center field. And I'm not a guy that usually gets lost in people that can just play defense in baseball, but wow. Like, I can watch him play center field.
Yeah, this year especially, he's always been good on defense, but for some reason, this year especially, he's just if he doesn't make a good catch in a series, it's because the pitching was so dominant that there was no balls hit into the outfield.
Or the pitching was so bad that all balls hit in the outfield were taters.
Well...
But that hasn't been the case yet.
Well, we've gotten close a couple times.
Yeah, we have. But I want to figure out how he somehow has... It's an advanced stat. How he somehow has a negative defensive runs saved stat. It's like -1. But how is he a negative defensive player when he literally makes run-saving plays every inning?
Because sometimes those advanced stats are just dumb.
Yeah, like he is a negative.
Wins above replacement is an irrelevant stat.
It's not irrelevant, but it's not as useful.
It's relevant in the sense that they talk about it a lot, but it's not a relevant stat in the sense that it matters.
I guess. But I don't know how he.
Mike Trout's is miles higher than Mookie's when they're
even. It's one. It's one higher. It's not that. I mean, it takes a while to catch to that.
That's a lot.
I guess so, but Mookie also didn't. Mookie also missed 20 games. Trout didn't.
Yes, but in terms of play, they are very
similar.
Well,
what they did, a way to factor that in is you divide or you go with WAR per game played, and they're right with each other, literally percentage points, or not percentage points, but decimal points. Oh,
I'm really good at math, and I did very well in all kinds of calculuses. This stat is just confusing and stupid.
I don't know how to calculate it, but yeah.
I mean, OPS, I don't like it, but okay, I get it. There's some relevance to it.
Well, it does. Well, because it's two relevant stats just added together.
Yeah, but the fact that people emphasize that so much, it's I don't care if a guy has a 400 OBP, but only a 310 slugging. I don't care.
That pisses me off.
If he's getting on base, that's fine.
Well, if he's got a 310 slugging, that means he's a singles hitter, and that's not something I would want on my team. Depending on who it is, obviously.
Hey, if there's 2 outs and runners on second and third, I want a guy who hits singles. It's 2 runs driven in.
No.
You don't need to hit the big fly every at bat, unless your name is JD Martinez, who in this game didn't do that. But he got a double. Got a double in the second inning that drove in 2 runs, and really just set the pace. And then he would come back in the fourth with a single down the left field line that brought in Benintendi. Back to Evaldi though. Is just what a game. I was very shocked when they put Barnes in the eighth. It's like you said, only 82 pitches,
Definitely could have gone
seven
at least an extra inning.
strong innings,
Shutout. He like dominated.
0 earned, 4 hits, no walks, 5 strikeouts. Poof. He came in with I think it was a 4.28 ERA, and he
Right.
left with a 3.80. Obviously, missing a lot of the first half of the season will do that to you, but still, just what
Yeah.
a performance.
Yeah, he balled out. It's gonna be. I'm more interested to see what he does in his next start because he is lined up to pitch in that Yankee series. That's the
That'll
one.
be it. That'll be really
That's
good. Well,
the
he's pitched in this division pretty much his
No,
whole
I
career. So.
agree, but he's not really faced the Yankees at Fenway Park.
Yeah.
Although minus Judge and Sanchez,
And he hasn't faced this Yankees lineup.
Yeah, I mean, but it's minus Judge and Sanchez, so it should work into his favor. Not as many guys that can lift the ball out of the stadium. But it's definitely going to be a game to circle and watch if you think that Eovaldi's proven himself as a guy that could be shut down and dominant for this team. You need to wait until at least after Saturday.
Yeah, who is slated to pitch this series? Game 1 is Sale, right?
It is Sale, Porcello,
Evaldi,
Price.
Evaldi, Price, yeah.
Yeah, that should be realistically 3 wins, with the loss going to Porcello. If you just
Really?
yeah, because without Judge and without Sanchez, David Price no longer has a father that plays for the Yankees.
Oh,
Although Aaron Hicks is still there,
yeah.
but
And
and Gleyber
it's the
Torres is
Yankees,
still there.
and it's David
but
Price.
last year against the Yankees at home, he went 8 shutout innings.
Yeah.
It might actually just be Yankee Stadium, and he looked like a completely. I know he pitched against the Tigers and then an inning against the Orioles, but he looked like a completely different pitcher. Like his mechanics looked a little bit different.
We're gonna talk about that in the next episode.
Okay.
Yeah, so here we are again plugging the next episode. God, you're so greedy. We want you to enjoy our content.
Yeah.
But yeah, Matt Barnes would come in the 8th inning. He
feel
picked
bad
up
now.
2 strikeouts, which was, in only 1 inning he had almost half of the strikeouts that Evaldi did. But you know what? He also gave up a walk when Evaldi gave up none. So
So
what?
he's
Screw
worse.
you, Matt Barnes.
I love
And
Matt
then
Barnes.
Craig
Don't ever
Kimbrell
disrespect him again.
He's having one good year, and you know what? He blew the game on Thursday, so he's still in hot water with me.
It literally is one game that he has won more games this year than he's lost for this team. He has saved us from
Do you know
talking.
how many guys you could say that about?
Not in the bullpen. Just one other guy.
Tyler Thornburg.
Okay, 2 other guys.
He's a great guy.
No, but Matt Barnes. If it weren't for Matt Barnes, we would have had to be talking about how crappy this bullpen was the entire year. Now it's just been the last few weeks. Thanks to Matt Barnes.
The last couple months.
I wouldn't even say the last couple months because before last month, Joe Kelly was not dog shit. Oh, my bad. Dog poop.
You know what? We're PG-13. You're allowed 1 slip.
Okay, cool.
Now I don't know what I was gonna say.
Well,
Oh yeah, Kimbrell redeemed himself after blowing a save Friday. He would get his 33rd save of the year, would strike out 1, and then a sweet double play to end the game.
yeah, we love it.
JD, of course, he had those 3 RBIs, brings him up to 89 on the year.
It's absurd.
89!
Like, it's kind of weird because he isn't even the front runner for MVP.
Well,
He's not even the
we
best
had-
player on his team.
yeah, we had this conversation Friday. All around, I think Betts adds more value to the team than he does. I'm not saying I want Martinez gone.
Nobody says that because
Not
if
confuse my
if anyone ever says that even in a joking manner, I will stuff a pair of socks down your throat, and they won't even be red.
They'll be white.
They will be white socks.
What was I? We were talking about JD.
Yep.
Yeah. So 89 RBIs for the year. It's just ridiculous, especially when you look at the fact that the Red Sox have only played 107 games. And he has 89. That's 18. Wait. Yeah, 18 RBIs less than the Red Sox have games played. That's a ridiculous percentage.
Yeah, it's crazy, and he's got a significant lead on second place. It's like 18.
Yeah.
He's got like an 18 RBI lead on second place.
It's 9, but whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah, he has 89, and then Chris Davis for the A's has 80.
Yeah, but Chris Davis doesn't count.
Well,
he plays for Oakland.
Then you tell me if Eugenio Suarez does,
well, no, because
he also has 80.
He's in the NL, doesn't count.
Yeah, fair.
NL fake league.
Well, they might be if this DL thing happens.
DH thing.
Or DH, yeah, DL. God damn it. So many guys on the Red Sox are hurt. I'm just so used to a D being followed by an L.
Nice.
But Red Sox only took one L in the series. And I thought, take the first game aside, and then the bullpen in the second game. I thought the third and fourth game were good all-around team performances.
Yeah, I mean, in Game 3, the bullpen kind of had to be an anchor, and
yeah.
we saw
they stepped up big.
We saw I'm trying to remember who pitched in order. I know Hembry went in. He pitched an inning and a third of shutout relief, so that was good.
Yeah, he finally got that clean inning.
He finally did. Trying to remember who went after him. That would be the eighth. Oh, that was Thornburg. Thornburg, and then Kelly. And Joe Kelly didn't allow a run. He didn't. He didn't.
2 strikeouts. Give up a hit, but
yeah, 2 strikeouts and a double play, which is an interesting 1 inning.
Yeah,
because Sandy Leon can't baseball anymore.
Well,
he literally dropped a fastball. I will never defend a catcher who puts down one finger and you strike the guy out on a fastball and he misses it and he gets to first base. I almost went through the TV and fought that Jerome Bettis lookalike.
Well, yeah. Well, that's how I felt on Friday when Kimbrel blew the save for Sale.
Yeah.
Sale in the last year of a contract, you really don't want to be blowing saves for the guy.
He's got 1 more year.
Does he?
Yeah. Kimbrel's the one in the last year.
I thought Sale was on his last year, too.
Nah, Sale's got next year. Kimbrel's a free agent after this year. Pomeranz is also a free agent after this year. But we'll talk
positive about Sale.
I am 100% positive about Sale. Actually, let me double check that.
I don't think you are.
I
think this is the last year. We might have an option on him.
No,
I don't think we have a year on him.
Chris Sale.
I'll just fill the time here.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be back in hopefully just a matter of minutes with our Philadelphia Phillies series preview.
He is signed through 2019. He makes $15 million next year.
That is a definite?
Yeah, that is a definite. $15 million for 2019. That'll be the final year.
All over the place that he's been 2018, and that I've been getting conflicting reports on a club option.
No, you might be thinking of a different player. You have to be, because that would just be fake news, and we don't spread fake news on this podcast.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, we'll be back with a Phillies series preview. It's just a 2-game series. Not sure how coverage of that series is going to go because, of course, it's only tonight, and tomorrow night. So not quite sure yet when we'll be back to review that and preview the Yankees series. But yeah, it's been it for reviewing the 3-1 against the Minnesota Twins over the weekend. You can follow this podcast on 2manadv.podbean.com. Of course, you know that because that's where you're listening to it right now. You can like us on Facebook. That's facebook.com/2manadv. Again, that's TWOMANADV. And if you would really like us and you really want to support us, we would really appreciate it if you would head over to patreon.com/2manadv. It's perfectly safe. Of course, I can't say it's free because you're giving money to us, but you're not giving any money directly to Patreon, so it is free in that sense. You can donate any dollar amount that you can afford, and we would really appreciate it if you would, just to help us out to make this show better. But that is it for now. We will be back any minute now with the Phillies series preview. I've been Dylan, that has been Jordan, and we'll catch you guys then.
Later, guys.